All right, joining us now, Cal State Bakersfield head coach Ari Wideman in the second season. Ari, welcome to the program. Great to have you here. We're saving some of the best for last here, huh?
Let's go. Yep. I'm happy to be here. So thanks for your time.
It is great to have you. Talk a little bit about the expectations coming into this season and how the trajectory looks nothing but up for you.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about this group. I mean, the expectation is to keep building, right? I knew when I was taking over this program that it was going to be a rebuild, but I thought we did a great job, with our recruiting class and especially in the portal. And so I'm excited for these guys. They've been great and they buy into the style of play that I believe in and our philosophy. So it's been good.
Can you talk a little bit more about that portal and how that fits into your philosophy?
Yeah, I mean, ever since I was a GA, I've coached junior college and portal kids primarily. Like we'll still recruit high school, but I love older kids and especially JUCO. They've usually got a chip on their shoulder, something to prove. And I think at Bakersfield you have to have that. We're definitely a blue collar type of place, and so I've got to have kids that will do everything and fight, to win games. And so we got some really good pieces out the portal. One of our kids, Krishan Coleman from Morehead State. I mean, she had multiple freshman of the week. She rattled off some 37-point games. We got a really good grad transfer from Idaho State and Maria Diaz, kids who can score double figures. And like I'm a pace, space, create type of person. So we got to score the ball. We have to defend in this league, but you have to be able to score. And so I think we did a nice job of getting some kids that can put the ball in the basket.
Also, a Defensive Player of the Year from Blinn College. Talk a little bit about that addition to your program.
Yeah, DJ. She was at Blinn Junior College in Texas, and yeah, Defensive Player of the Year. We needed to be better at that, and we want to be able to fly around and create some chaos. And now we have the personnel to do that. And she was a big key in that. And then NAIA Freshman of the Year kid we got. She also was a great defensive player and was Freshman of the Year in her league. And so we got some kids from different levels, but they all have experience, which is good. So excited to insert them in.
You've talked about how the competitive nature of your gym on non-game days is really continuing to improve, and you're working in that. And how competitive is your gym right now on non-game days so that that's getting you better?
Yeah, like me, I'm a killer. So I'm going to coach you to your highest potential, and we're going to get after it. I'm going to coach you hard. And so they're competitive. I mean, every drill, there's a winner and a loser, and you're running or doing push-ups if you've lost it. And so I think they're just excited to play someone else this weekend in our scrimmage, but we make everything competitive. There's always a winner and loser, and so we're going to create that environment. And I've done better at that this year in my staff, and so yeah, we demand that you compete.
Coach, preseason, you are picked 11 in the conference. And every time I see that in a conference, it's that team that's picked toward the bottom that overachieves and overperforms because they want to prove that they're better than everybody predicted them to be. What's the mindset going into this season?
Yeah, that is it. I love it. You can only go up, right? And I believe we will do that. But I have a chip, and it just got bigger with that. And I'm going to motivate our kids to, have a bigger chip too. And like remember that ranking when we're playing. And so I'm excited. It's fair. But now I'm ready for us to work. Like it's not about talking. Let's work and let's prove that we should be in the mix. You have to earn that.
How hard is it with kind of the demands on our student athletes these days? How hard is it to get them to kind of get in? You talked about you're going to coach them all the way through every practice. You're going to get after them. You're going to get the best out of them. They're having a day where they're tired. They're having a time. They've got some personal stuff going on. I mean, life is happening all around us. And it seems like at pretty epic levels today, especially for that generation of student athlete. And I'm wondering how you kind of adjust yourself and how you kind of shuck and jive really with what they're kind of going through to get the best out of them.
Yeah, I mean, I have good relationships with my players. Thankfully, I'm 33. I'm not far removed from it, but I mean, I have open door policy. Like these guys, like we have good relationships with them. Like whether it's a team retreat or they're at my house watching WNBA games, but like I relate to them as a human too. And we're always going to do our check-ins. We have our weekly meetings. But like when we're in between those lines, we definitely try to separate the two. Like when we're here, we're having fun, we're getting after it, and then if there are things we need to address outside of the court, let's do that. But we try to protect our space when we're on the floor and maximize our time together.
Coach, you retooled your coaching staff this year, essentially bringing on a lot of new faces. What was the thought behind that, and what do the missing pieces like Ray and others bring to the table?
Yeah, I talked to some of my mentors about that, but I'm very much like, you have to care about impacting winning, and those are hard decisions. But I made some changes, and Coach Alvarado, I'm really happy to have, because he's been a head coach, almost my lifetime, and so he's helpful, a defensive mind, and he's done every level, JUCO, high school, D2, and so I love having him around. He balances me out. I'm definitely a high energy type of person, and he's pretty laid back. Like, he gives me different perspective, and so he's been awesome. And I think that the other people are the same and super loyal, and will do whatever it takes to win games.
Coach, you got non-conference coming up here. Hoops is just right around the corner with tip-off. When you get to conference and you look back at non-conference, what will you have expected to accomplish going into the conference from that non-conference experience? What do you need to have had done?
Yeah, I mean, non-conference, like, we want to learn first off how to close and win games. Like, that is a learned experience in itself. And so these guys have to get used to that, and you want them to find some success, see some early success, at least I do for our group, and know that our identity is set in what we've, established since July 13th, right? And so I want to see that we bought into that. Like, we're fast, we're physical, and we're connected. And so I'm evaluating that. I split it up in 3 seasons, right? The non-conference, conference, and postseason. And so we just want to be growing and getting closer to like achieving our full identity in that time. But we just want to be sharp and figure out what works best before you go into conference play, because that's what matters most, right?
Coach, I'm looking at the eclectic background behind you. You have a Sports Illustrated poster that says "The Reluctant Superstar." You've got a couple figurines and a signed basketball. What's going on in your office?
I've got a lot you can't see, but I've got John Wooden, Phil Jackson, Tiger Woods, just me and him, just people who are great, who I've loved. And they're all in here, and they're winners, right? And they do those things. I got my first ball the team gave me for the first win. And so that's obviously cool to me. But I've got a bunch of stuff to be inspired. I always like to be inspired.
Good people find good people. Good for you, Coach.
Yeah, John Wooden's a good one, by the way. We heard from Brad earlier in the show at Riverside. He talked about being at a John Wooden banquet earlier this week, and we know what UCLA women's basketball means to Southern California, and what the job that Corey Close has done. And she and her staff serve as such great mentors. And I'm wondering how you kind of pick, because that is right up here as elite as it gets, and how you're able to learn from the John Wooden era, pick a little bit from Corey Close and UCLA, because those are things that are infusing into the women's game that continue. We see it in the Big West. I mean, you see it. It just continues to get better and better each year. And I'm just wondering what you can learn from that.
Yeah, well, I've had great coaches, but my college coach, Jane Albright, was really close with John Wooden and also Corey Close. And so, like, I've been to those practices when I was a GA at Prairie View A&M, because I am a student of the game. I'm always researching people. But yeah, like, I think there's so many people who have given to the game that we can learn from. And so I like John Wooden, but I also love Coach Hurley at UConn. So those are two different people.
Nice.
But they're people that can get the most out of their players, however they do it. But there's so many lessons you can learn from different coaches, and I go around practices all the time. And so you're just trying to find ways to be a lifelong learner and hopefully help your team, win some games. And so I'm no genius. We were 2-28, so I went to a lot of places to figure things out, and it's a blessing to be able to learn from others.
All right, now you've piqued my interest. I gotta know, Give me one takeaway from Coach Hurley at UConn. Just one quick takeaway.
He is passionate as ever, and he's
yes,
going,
he is.
he lives in everything. I don't do it that much, but I love that guy's intensity, the way he cares about the game, and he's an offensive genius first off, but he just gets after it every possession. He values everything, and so we're aligned in that regard. I might not do some of the things he does, but I love that about him. People who are obsessed with their craft, oh, we're friends. Even if I don't know you, if you're obsessed, that's someone I want to be like, you know.
Now, Coach, if you were given the choice of going to the Lakers or staying at UConn, which would you have picked?
You turned down a lot of money. I'd stick with college basketball. I'd stick with UConn because you're getting to help mentor and help young people. You know, in the NBA, you're not getting that. But that would have been hard to turn down. What, 6-year, $70 million deal?
And you got LeBron and other great players underneath your belt. But you could see the energy that you're bringing into the conference. Do you kind of hobnob with some of the veteran coaches like a Heidi Vanderveer or Jen Gross who have been in the league for a while and kind of learn from them how to navigate the Big West?
Yeah, I stopped and talked to them a couple of times, and I actually almost worked at UC Davis, you know, before I went to Toledo. So, but all those coaches, they have great experience, and they've been able to, they've had some time, but they've built some sustainable programs, and it's been nice that all the coaches have been, you know, welcoming, and obviously we're not competing yet, but they've given advice, you know, especially being a young head coach. So they were awesome.
Ari Wideman, thank you so much for spending time with Tammy Blackburn and I. We are so excited for your season in the Big West, for you and the energy that you bring to the entire conference. Thank you for spending time with us.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Another great coach, another great prospect who has just so much future ahead of her.
I mean, I'm getting out of the way, and I know that if I walk in the gym to play for Ari Wideman, I'm diving on the floor for loose balls. I'm going to do everything I can to get a rebound because, first of all, I don't want to run more than I already have to run. And I want to try to match her energy because it's inspiring. It just gets you pumped up, not only for the season, but how about practice every day? But I got to tell you, man, I'm running the other way. I mean, she's just going to continue to work hard and build it, and you can tell. So I just love the way that she's, you know, learning from other coaches too.